Today I want to talk about something that's been bugging me. Again, there's been just so much stupid news, and there's just so much nonsense going on in our country right now, and around the world, of course, but there's just a few things that have been bugging me. One thing I've been hearing a lot about is this whole idea of for-profit universities, and I have worked for the University of Phoenix as an adjunct professor for the last 7 years, okay? Currently, our enrollment has dropped so much that I haven't had a class since February teaching for them. In the meanwhile, there's all these bad things, like there was a school, Corinthian, I think it was called, that went out of business, so to speak. And, of course, everybody makes this big outcry, there's this big outcry about, about, they're for profit, they're pure evil, it's profit, for profit. Well, I'm kind of tired of hearing about that whole idea of for-profit or not-for-profit or state school, etc. I mean, because if you break it down, you start really looking into this. What you find out is, first of all, in about 30 states in the United States, the highest paid employee, public employee, is a freaking football coach. Okay, and here's a nice infographic here on this guy's website, or I don't know what this exactly is. Deadspin, Ruben Fisher Baum. He's got this whole infographic on the highest paid public employees. And of course, what is it? Coaches. Football coach, football coach, football coach, football coach, football coach. This just shows you right off the bat something's wrong with our country to begin with. Because these are all college coaches. Now, if you look, in my area, the local school is Texas A&M. We have a couple other little things here too, but Texas A&M is the big one. Look at this nonsense. Here it is. This person, I'm not going to say anything nice or bad or whatever, but this person is getting paid $5 million a year to coach, and he just signed a 6-year contract. Okay, so we're looking at this guy making $30 million to coach a freaking football team. Okay? But then you have people turning around and telling me that these schools, these public universities, are not for profit. Where the hell does $5 million come from to pay for this nonsense? Oh, from the game. So the game is for profit. The freaking football team is a for-profit mechanism. Okay? So they must generate an unbelievable amount of money if they're able to pay somebody to coach a game. Meanwhile, if you were to attend A&M, you're looking at, and I looked at a couple different websites, it's hard to get the information. You've got to do all sorts of figuring. Basically, I ran through A&M's tuition dealy-wheelie here on their website and pretended I was an English major, well, liberal arts major. I'm a resident, I'm undergrad, and I'm doing 12 or more hours. So the tuition here is $45.26. That doesn't include anything else, though. If you look around on Texas A&M's website, my God, they have a fee for just about everything. If you look at another local public school is Sam Houston State University. Their tuition actually comes out to be, hang on a second here. They have this. For 15 hours, you're paying $46.68.50. Books and the supplies, of course, is $500, which you know how that goes with books. That could be even more, or it could be a little bit less. But don't try and sell them back because you won't make any money, because Barnes & Nobles, who controls the bookstore at Sam Houston State University, of course, will not pay you back crap for them. When you're a freshman beginning at Sam Houston, you're required to live on campus. Living on campus can go anywhere from $18.60 to $29.92, so they have an average here of $24.50. Meal plans, of course, are required, $18.90, and they range from anywhere from $17.70 to $18.90. They give you the higher cost here. Then there's, of course, the application fee, totally arbitrary, totally made up, $45. And then other expenses may include parking permit. Guess what? 1 year, $138. When I taught there, and I taught at Sam Houston, I had to pay for parking permit also, even though I freaking worked there. Okay, so that's just pure profit, okay? Pure freaking profit, okay? There is no way that you're going to tell me that this is not done for profit. For example, just a stupid thing like tuition, the required application fee. Are you kidding me? $45, 20,000 students? Add it up. So we're looking here, and then, okay, so I'm getting a little excited here. So you're looking at a semester, $95.08.50. Okay, got that? That's $9,508.50 to attend for 1 semester. So if you add this together for the year, you're looking at $20,000. Now let's go take a look at Phoenix, University of Phoenix, where I taught. Tuition total for tuition $9,840, and then there's materials and fees. You're looking at another $1,000. Totals $10,000. Now, how much of a difference is that really compared to Sam Houston? What? $1,000?
So how are people going around saying that these for-profit schools like Phoenix, for profit again, are supposedly so much more expensive? You don't have to pay for a freaking parking permit, that's for sure. Of course, there's going to be other fees too, just like any of these schools though. But look at that. And A&M, of course, I found different information, but it looks like the tuition is probably about the same, about $10,000 also to attend A&M for a semester. So I mean, you're looking at, just an unbelievable amount of money. And what's interesting is if you do a Google search on this type of thing, for example, if you look up, let's do that right now, graduation rate for freshman college students. Let's find out how successful they are in graduating. I mean, people just don't think about this stuff. I mean, these schools are all for profit, man. Graduation rate by state, Texas. Look at that. 4-year colleges, 51.7 graduated in 6 years. That's it. Okay? That's it. I mean, 51. So let's put it this way. So you're a freshman, you've just got out of high school, you're a traditional student, you're about 20 years old, 19 years old, 18 years old, right? You don't know crap. Suddenly you're on your own. Graduation rate looks to be about 50%, right? So you're looking at probably half the students that begin college, freshmen in college, don't make it. And from what I understand as well, many students don't make it through their first year. But they're not going to be leaving with any sort of real education, but they will be leaving with a big pile of debt, okay? So again, if you compare the tuitions, there's not much of a difference between University of Phoenix, for example, and Sam Houston State. Tuition's pretty much the same, except there's some fees you might not pay, for example, the parking permit. But the very fact that they charge you for just about everything they can come up with and force the students to live on campus, almost ensuring that they're going to do poorly because they're going to be so distracted by all the great freedoms they have there at the school, and they're going to be eating all the crappy food that's there, including Quiznos, and what else is on campus? They've got Kentucky Fried Chicken, or what is it? No, the other one, Chick-fil-A. They've got Burger King, Pizza Hut. So basically they're feeding them crap. That's in your meal plan, of course, too. And again, if they weren't for profit, then why do they have these private corporations coming in to do the services that the universities used to do themselves? Okay, when I started college back in, over almost 25 years ago, okay, when I first began college, the university that I was at was a branch of University of Texas, and guess what? The kitchen was staffed by people who cooked food, and it was not all brought in from, let me put it this way, there were no Starbucks on campus. If you go to Sam Houston State, there's like 3 freaking Starbucks. There's one at the library, there's one at the food court, I'm pretty sure there's probably another one I'm just not remembering. So these corporations have come in, and of course, they're not there for the kindness of their heart, they're there to make a buck. Again, so and like I said about Barnes & Nobles, the bookstore is not even owned by the university either. The bookstore is a private corporation that moved in order to do what? To make freaking profit off of all these people. So I'm getting tired of hearing this. Basically what it comes down to is this. In this country right now, as far as the field of education is concerned, higher education, there is no such thing as a not-for-profit university. They're all for profit. And then when you throw in a school like A&M, which has all these ridiculous traditions that people want to take part in, you're looking at people wasting money on rings and all sorts of nonsense. But what it does is it generates a crap load of income for all these corporations that are involved. And, again, if we're living in a country where the highest freaking paid profession is a football coach, we got real problems that we need to deal with. And, what amazes me, though, is that we just put up with it. Look at this. This is embarrassing. And if you don't believe it, you can do the research yourself. There's Texas A&M right there with their Kevin Sumlin making $5 million per year to coach. And no one is embarrassed. No one is ashamed. No one says a word. Everybody's like, oh, that's great, man. Shit, we got to pay $5 million, dude, because he's doing such a hard job. Okay? But they're not for profit, remember. They're not for profit. They love their students. It's a publicly funded university. Great place. And they give you some other coach salaries here. Somebody named Brett Bielema, $5.2 million. Another guy here, what's his name? Where is he? Mac Brown. Again, compensation is at least $5 million. It's absolutely insane. Okay, this is ridiculous. Oh, and here's a guy, defensive coordinator, gets $700,000. What? He's the nation's 10th highest paid assistant coach. Aggies assistant coaches are making nearly $3.4 million this season, number 8 nationally. So they got money. They got money falling out of their ass. And they're throwing it away on a freaking useless thing like football. So much for education, right? Once universities got involved with this football crap, it was all over, man. Now, I will say this, too. Phoenix doesn't have a football team. The only thing that Phoenix has related to sports is they have a stadium in Phoenix, Arizona that they are calling University of Phoenix Stadium. They paid like $1 million to be able to stick their name on it. Okay, so they throw away some money on sports too. But not nearly as much as these people are throwing away. I mean, they're throwing away $30 million, okay? $30 million in 6 years on some moron to freaking coach a freaking goddamn sport. Okay? Think of all the good that can be done with this money, and this guy's going to sit there and go home with $30 million. I mean, you know, I hate to sound like I'm being like I'm resentful or something, but I'm just saying this is a sign of the times, man. Everything in our culture right now, everything has been corporatized and turned into profit. And anybody who believes that these schools are, oh, this school's for profit, this school's not for profit. Yeah. Phoenix is a privately owned corporation. I get that. I understand that it's set up in a corporate, sort of layout, so to speak, with CEO, etc. But you might as well call the dean of the university or the president of the university the freaking CEO, because he's going to be making, millions of dollars too. If we were to look up the salary of those guys, we're going to go into a whole other ballgame. Okay, I was just reading about some guy from Harvard. He got like a $7 million bonus for retiring after 20 years. For what? How does this relate to educating people? I don't get it. And how can you charge somebody to park at a place they're already paying money to be at? I don't get it. But again, I'm a weirdo, and I know I'm probably sounding like I'm a weird extremist and stuff. Maybe I sound a little cynical, blah, blah, blah. But this is absolutely insane, okay? And if you don't think so, then there's something wrong with you, because this is out of control. The fact that we put up with this nonsense, and I mean, what can I do about it? Not a damn thing. But I am tired of hearing people saying, oh, they're for profit, they're bad, they're for profit. No, they're all for profit. Once again, I'm going to state it. There is no such thing as a not-for-profit school. They are all for profit across the freaking board. All you got to do is look at the football team and you'll know that they are purely for profit. Especially these stupid arbitrary fees like $45 application fee. What, to pick up a piece of paper? A&M's is $70 for the application fee. I mean, that's freaking insane. For a piece of paper, you have to turn in another $70. The whole thing is a ripoff. From start to finish, ripoff. Rip-off. I mean, how can this be, man? How can people be this blind? No, A&M is a public university. All right, anyways, I'm going to stop bitching. I just had to get this off my chest. It's been bugging me for a while. I've been hearing this, and since I've worked for Sam Houston State University, a public university. I've worked for University of Phoenix. Okay, so I've seen two different perspectives. I'm working for another school right now that would be probably considered for profit. I have worked for language academies. I have worked for all sorts of different schools for the last 12 years. I've been involved in education, primarily non-traditional students and primarily adults. And so this is what I've been seeing. A lot of money being wasted, a lot of money being thrown away, or I guess those are synonyms, but either way, nothing around us right now in this culture is not for profit, including state-funded universities. Don't let them fool you. It is all for profit. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about this today. Otherwise, I'll be talking here just ranting for hours. So anyways, Algarado signing off. I'm sure somebody will have some comment for me about how I'm wrong and that they're not for profit and the for-profits are evil and the non-for-profits are good and sports is good and football's good and we should pay the coaches even more money. I'm sure I'll hear something stupid like that. So anyway, but if you have something else to say, please do it. And if you want to talk about, if you want to debate this with me or tell me how great football is and how it's very important that these coaches make $5 million, please let me know. I'd love to be enlightened as to why this is a good thing in any possible way. All right. Algarado signing off. Have a great day. Bye.